After transferring to the School of Social Sciences in 2019, after 23 years with the humanities, I was weaned into the world of economics, society, and sustainable development, where it became abundantly clear that social and environmental sustainability are subsumed by economic sustainability, all three pressing concerns of the 21st century. There is a delicious tension between the seemingly fraught nature of unsustainability in performative scenes, particularly the underground hip-hop scene in urban Metro Manila, against the devotion to the transcendent timelessness of art. How do you reconcile ephemeral performances with the romantic notion of preserving heritage and legacy in art forever? More and more, the relevance of the humanities in real-life praxis is being undermined, and nowhere more than in the university, as issues of ontological, epistemological, and phenomenological inquiry are sidelined by real-world concerns of climate change, global recession, and the availability of scarce sources of renewable energy. Yet, it is in the humanities that such tensions are resolved in paradoxical juxtaposition. I find that, more and more, the lens of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, capabilities approach, and human rights-based perspectives complement the sentimentality that John Keats described as poetic romance in depicting the endless pursuit of the shepherd Endymion for the beautiful moon goddess, Selene. At the risk of sounding disingenuous, I quote the following lines as the ultimate deconstruction of the idea that creative performativity in a post-COVID world is unsustainable. Keats writes, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits." What had value and relevance before March 2020 may have led to unsustainable practices during the pandemic, but the post-pandemic world has presented intriguing possibilities to creatively reimagine and reevaluate research of underground music scenes, which makes for the sustainability of its performative aspects. For this presentation, I grappled with the same question that framed my research on Pinoy creativity in urban subversive spaces from 2016 to 2020, when the coronavirus rendered immobile Philippine society along with the rest of the global village. The question: what is the relevance of urban creativity in the subversive world of Philippine hip-hop? The given premise stemmed from a paper read in a Sabah museum 5 years ago about how the unique Pinoy humor and gutsiness fueled the popularity of flip-top, then the most watched battle league in the world, and still the most watched in the resurgent 2022 season.
Ako ang pupurga sa mga bulating tulad mo dito sa liga na parang Combantrin. Yung estilo mong unorthodox, hindi lang pambobo, pang-abnormal din. Dahil pagdating sa tulang, hindi magtugma ang pinakamalala at mortal sin. Alam ko yan dahil kaya kong tawirin ang underground at mainstream na parang langit at lupa. Ako si Constantine.
Damsa! Papa-papa-pam-pam ka, tatatatatatatatata nga, itong kakakakakakaba ay dadapa na lang dyan bigla pagtugtog ng bumbong pakyak bugbog, tunghod ng nata na bugbog, laluko ka, maglukluk ka na lang damsa!
Bakit the grappler ng rap? Mapamaito na mabagal, mabilis malalim sa battle o kanta. Alam kong dalalapit sa mga tulad mo ang mental, hindi din na to. Di matutuldo ka na mga multi mo ang pagiging multitasker ko na rapper dahil multi-talented ako! Nagpunta ako sa Indang 13. Yung mga halaman malalago. Sa kakaisip ko sa mukha mo, lumabas yung kakambal mo. Sabi niya, Tok!
Yung sinabi mong huli, gusto ko lang masita. Kakambal ko, takko. Kakambal pala kita!
It's your host, Enigma. We got a battle for the Filipino Conference, US Conference battle. 90 seconds of Prodigy.
Flat top magingay para sa parating laban.
I'm Enigma. It's my AKA for Alaric Yuson, founder and CEO of Flip Top Battle League and co-founder and CEO of Upcycling Records Philippines. MC, hip-hop enthusiast, and all that. I've always maintained that this, besides being the most viewed battle league in the world, and therefore like the biggest battle league in the world or the best, I've always maintained that the top 50, even the top 100 MCs in Flip Top, if they were like, if the rest of the world could understand their level of genius, they could go up against the top 100 of the world, if not be better than them. Except
Before the pandemic, Flip Top moved from strength to strength, racking up millions of views for each uploaded battle to YouTube, a straightforward business model that Alaric Yuson perfected from 2010 to 2020. Following a hugely successful Flip Top Festival held on February 7 and 8, 2020, a feat that Enigma professed as equaling, if not surpassing, other large music festivals for rock and pop music, it came as a huge blow when then President Duterte announced a national lockdown in mid-March, which would herald, for over a year, one of the longest lockdowns in the world. Virtually everything came to a halt and Flip Top was not spared. To the video series staples on the YouTube Flip Top channel, such as Salitang Ugat, Alias, and Ungguyan, Enigma introduced two more series during the COVID lockdown: Enigma Machine Battle Breakdowns and Quarantine Battles. He also posted performance clips from the Flip Top Festival, digitalizing nostalgia for live battles, a callback to the good old days. In 2021, with the loosening of COVID protocols, Flip Top once more kicked off its championship series, Isa Buhay, albeit with muted colors and fanfare. The events continued to be filmed in a quarantine battle studio with only a few MCs in attendance. The 2 years of limbo saw a sharp drop in viewership of battles uploaded. The Isa Buhay 2019 final between Apex and Sixth Threat netted 10 million views, whereas the Isa Buhay 2020 finals, held 2 years later in a quarantine battle between Lipcram and Emzite, peaked at 4.3 million views. Isa Buhay 2021 between Goryong Talas and J Black, held simultaneously with Isa Buhay 2020, only netted 1.6 million views. True to the creative, subversive spirit of Pinoy underground scenes, Enigma promoted quarantine battles which were held in Buhay Pa Rin City, which literally translates to Still Alive City, a cheeky reference to Flip Top's continued existence in a place where COVID could not cause harm. Quarantine battles persisted in retaining Flip Top's viewer fanbase and to buoy the careers and livelihoods of the MCs. Upon the resumption of Flip Top's live battles in 2022, it was the MCs from the quarantine battles of 2021 who battled their way confidently to the last event of the year, Ahon, where the champion of Isa Buhay, Pistolero, was crowned. Looney, a Flip Top MC, whose fame was built on his insane battle skills through his support behind another battle league, Sunugan, which had a similar format but smaller audience. In this way, Pinoy battle rap did not go the way of many small to medium businesses such as the food and retail industries that had been hit hard by the pandemic. You could say that Enigma, with his indomitable spirit, upcycled Pinoy battle rap to keep it relevant and ahead of the curve in the new normal of masks, vaccines, and social distancing. In Upcycling, one man's trash is literally another man's treasure. Repurposing old, used concepts, clothes, and materials thrives in artifice and creative impetus. A thing of beauty, when reinvented and reimagined, adds value to being a thing of joy forever. Dapper Dan from Harlem introduced upcycling in 1991 before the term was coined in 1994 by mechanical engineer Rainer Pilz, who asserted that what we need is upcycling, where old products have more value, not less. Considered among the fathers of African American hip-hop style, Dapper Dan sold clothes he created, often reusing and transforming clothes, fabrics, and accessories of big brands, or imprinting fake logos on jackets and duffel bags. There were furs, accessories, leather jackets, and wallpapers commissioned by his customers with fake brands. The New York Times quoted Samira Nasser, fashion director of Elle, as likening Mr. Day's work to sampling, taking existing fabrications and breathing new life and beauty into them. Dapper Dan designed unique retrofits of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, and MCM. He worked the logos into his leather coats, hats, suits, and even car interiors for clients such as Mike Tyson, LL Cool J, Eric B, and Rakim. Hip-hop culture is characterized by such resistance to gatekeeping of norms, and Dapper Dan showed what dapper could mean from the perspective of Harlem hip-hop. In Flip Top, Enigma defines battle rap ethos from the perspective of Pinoy battle MCs and fans. Who truly owns fashion sense? Mainstream consciousness skews towards preservation of true art or music spaces and genres. Who is to say that hip-hop is not worthy of preservation and emulation? I do not by any means intend to commodify the phenomenon of reinventing flip-top in the COVID era. However, the representations on YouTube is a branding strategy that kept flip-top relevant on top of the intrinsic characterization and identification politics associated with underground subversive scenes. In 2022, by way of unintended upcycling, Enigma repurposed a badminton center in San Juan City and renamed it the Flip Top Warehouse, in which Ahon 13 was held on December 16 and 17. I have attempted to bookend the experiences and observations gleaned from viewing musical spaces and performances as works of art that withstand the vagaries of time, facing crippling economic conditions that render artistic celebrations unsustainable. COVID made it next to impossible to put food on the table for artists. COVID also presented seemingly insurmountable challenges to conducting research that necessitated immersion in specific cultural contexts. But it did give us pause to take stock of what had taken place before the virus downed global scenes, to recollect, refine, revise, reflect, and re-envision. The documentary about Pinoy hip-hop's origins from the perspective of select musickers who gave their time and resources was barely 6 months old when COVID struck. In the silent months of the enhanced community quarantine in the Philippines, I was able to revisit the material and flesh out themes that emerged from the plethora of footage, transcriptions, and data available. In Zoom presentations that were streamed digitally in physical locales such as Portugal, Germany, and Japan, my own research on Pinoy urban subcultures found a life of its own, bursting forth in the imaginations of scholars and students of popular culture and music scenes. Theoretical boundaries were challenged as we grappled with the real-life economic hardships that people were facing, and somehow we did draw strength from the narratives emerging from ethnographic inquiry, stories of places and spaces and faces that, in a pre-COVID world, passed us by in a blur.
Tapos, ayun, siguro konting updates lang bago tayo magsimula. Syempre, kakaiba tong buong pandemic na to, no? Tong buong quarantine, paralisado lahat. Lalong-lalo na yung entertainment industry, lalo pagdating sa events. Syempre, ang dami nagsasabi or siguro ang dami nag-aakalang madali lang na madali lang para sa amin dahil marami namang sa produkto namin na online naman, no? Pero baka nakakalimutan nyo yung online content namin ay nakabase sa live event. So kung walang live event, wala tayong content, wala akong may upload para sa inyo. Ano ang plano ng Flip Top para dun? Sa totoo, wala pa, no? Bago nangyari yung quarantine, buo na yung lineup ng Isa Buhay 2020. Buo na yung matchups para sa unang round, sa first round ng tournament, at para sa unang main battle event ngayong taon. As in, kalahati dun sa mga matchups na yun, alam na nila yung mga makakalaban dapat nila. Naghahanda na dapat sila, tapos ayun, biglang nangyari yung quarantine, no? Sa ngayon, wala pa talagang plano, wala pang petsa, hindi namin masabi. Kasi kahit mamili ako ng petsa ngayon, kung mangyari ay biglang mag-extend ulit yung quarantine o kaya biglang lumala na naman yung yung outbreak, no? Baliwala, di ba?
The uncertainty of engaging with audiences and other MCs in live settings became the spur to make the unsustainable sustainable. The sustainability of Pinoy humor, burlesque, and the carnivalesque in battle rap is possible in romanticizing it and ensuring that it is never forgotten nor misunderstood. Buhay pa rin City is eternal and everywhere. And while we were unable to witness the battles in person, they were relentlessly waged in a cramped studio where MCs drenched their hands in alcohol and removed their masks. Before a microphone and camera, sound spontaneous crowd reactions to energize them, MCs spit out their bars with a newfound sense of power. In retrospect, while COVID ostensibly made musicking unsustainable, it drove even more the creativity of Pinoy urban underground scenes. MCs honed their skills in isolation, far from the madding crowd. The level of artistry, their pen gaming, their multisyllabic rhymes, rhythms, and timing for the big punchlines were on full display before a camera and select audience. Even more significantly, in the black hole of COVID's 2-year imprisonment, MCs were set free from the pre-pandemic reliance on battling in flip-top to make a living. Emancipated from the dynamic of Arik as provider for their fledgling dreams and aspirations, battle MCs developed a consciousness that was deeply hypercritical of the old ways. In the post-pandemic battle setting that we witnessed last December 2022, flip-top then is an apex. One of the Batch 1 originals of Flip Top battled Sinyo, another Batch 1 original and superstar, in Ahon 13. Gone were the stick-thin physiques, and in their place were leaner, meaner, muscular MCs. It was Apex who delivered one of the knockout punches for the entire festival, felling even Enigma himself.
Si Enigma, paano nyo naloko? Yung Flip Top, ginawa nyong monopolyo. Yung liga, naging negosyo. Napupolitika, nabibili yung boto, yung may-ari, yung financer, yung mga judges, magkakasosyo. Flip Top, kayo na rin gumagawa ng sarili nyong lapida. Totoo naman yung mga banat ni Akata, masakit lang yung pagkakasabi niya. Dati! Sorry na kaagad. Dati, yung flip top, puro lang tunay. Yung hinahanap, puro lang husay. Ngayon, parang iba na yung kulay. Wala nang paki si Arik sa kultura kasi meron na siyang anak na binubuhay. Kung sino pa yung mga pumupusta, sila rin yung mga huradong humuhusga. Kaya yung mga magagaling dito sa flip top, nauubos na.
Interestingly, Apex made reference to another battle from Ahon 12 from the year before, in December 2021, when AKT lambasted Flip Top as being boring and corrupt.
Good morning, Flip Top! So we're here at the end of AKT Battle Rap Trails. And I just have to do this only for the sake of my beloved fan base. I don't even care anymore if this league is into its last days. Ako mismo, ayoko nang magstay because for me, this is a whack place. The practice is very unhealthy para sa aking mental space. I'm into inner peace already at ayoko na sanang mag-produce pa ng hate. But every time I see these stupid MCs, hindi ako makarelate. Umuwi na lang ako na aking energy drain and for me to recover, I need to rest ng isang linggong straight. Kaya wala na akong pake kung after nito ako inyo na ipa-deport. Flip Top, kadiri kayo and there's so much evidence to support. Pero kahit ganon, let's give credits to Arik na siyang todo nag-effort. At kayong mga hampas lupang MCs, just make sure na masulit nyo na lang itong Enigma's Last Resort. I feel disgusted every time I'm watching this game. You are the reason why being a Filipino is nothing but a shame. Kayong mga maledukadong nanatiling battle rap slave doing everything for fame while a Chinese man is getting paid. Reality check! 17 na ang iyong tinalo dahil sa sipag mong magtrabaho. Magpuyat, gumawa ng mga verso at magdamag na mag-ensayo. Kaso, ano nga ba talagang napala mo? Bakit parang walang pag-asenso sa kabila ng pagbabago? Mukhang nakatulong lang iyong mga panalo upang papagtakpan mo ang iyong lungkot na pilit mong tinatago. Pero malamang, after neto siya'y happy na naman pagkat may 20,000 na kitaan na mauubos lang sa loob ng isang buwan. Yang buhay, talagang ganyan kapag yung money language di mo maintindihan. Kahit anong kita mo ng pera sa kahirapan, hindi ka na makakaalis dyan. Ganyan talaga kapag ang tao walang focus tapos hindi pa nakapagtapos. Ultimo, simpleng pag-perceive sa assets and liabilities, inaasa pa sa Diyos. Kaya malamang, edad 40 ka na, bumabattle ka pa rin. Tatanda ka sa eksena pagkat ito lang ang kaya mong gawin. You already surrendered your life to Enigma's machine. Ikaw ay property owned. And your owner is exploiting your suffering. Ito'y poverty porn!
The hard-hitting, lacerating words of AKT and Apex made Enigma visibly squirm. But as Apex declared, this was real talk. And while they hurt, the words nevertheless rang true. The MCs that Flip Top made famous have grown in confidence, wealth, and stature, and now exercise their agency to criticize what they could not when they were scratching the bottom of the barrel to eke out a decent living. The video upload of AKT's battle against Poison 13 and Ahon 12 of December 2021 racked up nearly 4 million views, quite an achievement in the post-pandemic context. I say that at the end of the day, the new normal is one that contributes to the leveling of the playing field, democratizing the space, and unwittingly by dint of the talents and skills of Flip Top's battle MCs, upcycling new worth to the scene. The number of views are not the sole determinants of Flip Top's success any longer. Viewers now need to contend with discomforting truths that could not be uttered when the power dynamics in the league was vertical, from Enigma to the MCs and fans and MCs upwards towards Enigma. How will Pinoy viewers and fans of battle rap maneuver the new ground broken by quarantine battle MCs such as Luxuria, Akata, Apex, and Poison 13? How will Flip Top continue to carve out its legacy that remains a joy forever in the whirlwind of upcycled consciousness and critique? I say, have a go at it, Eric, and continue to upload the controversial battles that questioned you as the founder of Flip Top, the judging system, and the format. The profitability of raking in the views with YouTube's algorithm deconstructs the unsustainability of the pandemic effect. It also forces you to rethink, reimagine, and reinvent the genre in creative ways. A thing of beauty, as a Pinoy joy, forever, perhaps. We in the academe can do similarly. We can reinvent, rethink, and recast seemingly unsustainable perspectives with our research material. Such spaces and musicking can be rendered sustainable with upcycling the old and renewing it in joyous celebrations of art.
Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Dance and to celebrate. Away nila last night. Sad kids and mad wife. Pag I need ang advice, darating ang bad life, parang kinagaslight. Kumbinsido ka makabangon, habang pursige ka sa mga hamon. Tamang positibo nakakalason, parang umiti pa sa may kabaon. Hanggang pamanhin mga panga, masakit na sa mata, makakita ng tanga. Nagka-broken kayo rama, mapakinggan talaga. Pagka-open ng problema, sa akin mas malala. Tamang-tama, sobra-sobra sa'kin. Mga bala, toka-toka natin. Kaya toma-toma, droga-droga, boka-boka, flying. Tropa-tropa, outing, tropa-tropa, bate. Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Fuck a small win. Dance and to celebrate. Dance and to celebrate.